Appreciate you guys coming. Just kind of a quick Missouri recap to start with. Very impressed with their football team. I thought those guys they got a chance to have a really good year, I think. Very sound in all three phases. Obviously, an SEC caliber type defense. I thought after the first drive they really kind of showed their merit, so to speak, and really defended us pretty well. Although I do think we missed some opportunities, and I think the story of the game really is the turnovers. I mean, when you throw 2 interceptions on your own end and one's run back, and then you fumble a kickoff and you give them short fields, I think when you do that against good opponents, it's going to be hard to win. Unfortunately, we did that, and I like the way we started. We started fast, which was important for us. We talk about that every week, but we just couldn't sustain it, and some of that was really self-inflicted. When you really look back at the film, we missed opportunities. We had a great week of practice. And was, I thought, really ready to go and just didn't execute well as the game went on. And got to figure that out. We got to make sure that we carry that practice execution over into the games. Defensively, really from the second quarter on, I was pretty pleased. I thought we limited explosive plays. We stopped the run pretty good overall. They ran it about 40 times, I think. And I think we held them 160 yards, something like that, which against an SEC opponent I think is pretty solid. We got stops when we need them, especially in the second half, and I thought we showed a lot of improvement, especially in the back end with a young group of secondary players. I think our front seven continues to be disruptive and play well, and hopefully that'll help us as we get back into conference play. Coming out of the game with the exception of Caleb Barker, I think we came out pretty good injury-wise. I think we got some bumps and bruises, and really we got some guys hopefully we'll get back that missed Saturday and the week before. So hopefully we'll get those guys back ready to go during this bye week. I think Barker, I definitely think he's probably questionable. We hope he'll be available, but we don't know yet. It's too early to tell. This bye week's much needed for us. I think we have to focus on trying to improve in the fundamentals, offensively, defensively, and the special teams, and continue to try to make sure that we shore up all the loose ends there and really get our guys' legs under them and get us back healthy. I think that's extremely important for us. We will practice this week, and we plan on having really good practices and trying to improve and getting a head start on South. Obviously, I know they're doing the same. But looking forward to getting them back on the field today and hopefully getting some guys back practicing that maybe hadn't practiced in a while. Our players of the game this week offensively, Khalil McLean caught 3 balls for 44, made a great catch on the touchdown. Thought he showed a lot of toughness, focus, locking in and catching the ball, knowing probably a hit was coming and held on to it. And that's what he's capable of doing. I've really been pleased. He's made a lot of progress, I think, in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just see him showing up, catching, making big plays. He's a guy that played quarterback in high school, was an athlete. He can really throw, and I think he kind of redesigned himself as a receiver, and I think he's really starting to develop and really polish up. Defensively, player of the game was Del Pettis. 9 solo tackles. For a freshman in an SEC game, that's pretty good. Guy, we use him in a lot of ways, run fits, also pass defense, and he's getting more and more comfortable, and you start to see that, and I think that's a huge plus for us for the future. Special teams player of the week was Patrick Richardson. He played 19 special teams plays, which is a pretty high number. He starts on all 4 of our special teams, and that's so big for a guy to be able to do that. He was graded out 100%. He had 5 production points, which is one way we grade, which is pretty high for a special teams player. So really pleased with those 3 guys. We had some other guys that had some nice plays and so forth, but really those are our players of the game, and appreciate their efforts for sure. South Alabama preview, obviously we play a week from tomorrow, I guess, and looking at this team, this is a big game for us, without a doubt. Obviously a big rival, battle for the belt. We're excited. I know our players are already excited about that. Good rivalry, close proximity. It's good for, I think, our conference as well as our state. I think you got our staff and their staff know each other. A lot of familiarity there. Our players know each other. Some play together in high school, whatever. A lot of relationships there, and it's a good competitive rivalry, and we're excited about that. Looking at their team, they played a really tough schedule. If you look at who they played, don't let the record fool you. Nebraska's 4-2. They lost to them. They're a Power 5. Memphis is 5-0. One of their other losses, UAB's 4-1. So when you really look at it, and ULM really had a great opportunity to beat Florida State. So you're talking about a team that's played some quality opponents, and obviously it's going to be a big challenge for us because it's anytime these two teams play, I think you can guarantee the records kind of go out the window, and we're going to need to be ready to play mentally and also emotionally. You know, they've lost, the teams they've lost to are combined, I think 17-9, which is pretty good. So this is a dangerous team that I think is getting better. When you really watch them from game 1 to game 6 or whatever they've played, 5, whatever it is, I think you see a team that's continuing to improve. They've got good players offensively. I think it starts with their quarterback, Cephas Johnson, 6'5", good-looking guy, 220 pounds, sophomore, still a young player, very talented, really good athlete, can throw the deep ball. He's proven that and shown that. They got 2 receivers that are impressive, Kawan Baker and Jalen Tolbert, but both good-looking guys, long, go get the ball down the field. I think one of them's got 16 receptions, the other one 14. I think Baker's got 3 touchdowns, and just a talented group there. Trey Minner, I think, is a really, really good player, one of the better players in our league. He can run it, he can catch it, and he's powerful. He returns for them, does a lot for them. Probably, I would say just from outside looking in, just the heartbeat of their team, so to speak. He does a lot for them, and definitely have to find a way to slow him down. Defensively, their defront's impressive. They got some really big athletic guys. When you talk about Tyree Turner, and he's been banged up, I know, but we plan on him playing, I'm sure, and he's explosive, he's powerful. Our players are very familiar with him, very disruptive. I think he's a big-time player, and from what I understand, he'll probably be back ready to go for us. Jeffrey Watley's another defensive lineman. I'm very familiar with him. Recruited him actually when I was at another school. Big and athletic, very talented. You can see he does a great job in their scheme, what they want him to do. I think their linebackers are very solid. Riley Cole, Roy Yancey, Nick Mobley. I mean, those guys very solid. And I think the DBs are a good group. They all tackle well, it seems like. They compete. They're well coached. They're where they're supposed to be. So, for us, I think it's a big challenge offensively, to go against this. They play a little different defense maybe than we've seen too. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and we got to have a good week of practice. Special teams wise, I think their punter, Jack Brooks, 26-year-old guy, I think from Australia, he's coming off their best game. He had a 60, maybe 2-yard punt last week. Got a big leg. He's a guy that can change the game and flip the field a little bit. So definitely aware of him. And then Trey Minner, obviously their punt returner and kickoff returner. I think he's 7th in the country in all-purpose yards. So he's a guy that definitely we need to know where he is and try to limit his opportunities for sure. All in all, I think this will be a typical rivalry game. I mean, both teams I think will be ready to play, and it's going to come down to when we get opportunities to make plays, we have to make those plays in big situations, something we did not do last week. Going into last week, I was very pleased offensively how we had played to this point from an execution standpoint, and obviously we didn't do that after the first drive. So that's something we're going to really focus on, making sure that our eyes are where they're supposed to be, we're playing the right side of the field, we're getting in the right run or the right throw. So those are things we're going to really focus on. Defensively, I do think we're continuing to improve. The secondary is getting better each week, and we all know that it just takes some time, and those guys are maturing, growing into their roles. And then special teams-wise, I think our kicker and our punter are doing a really solid job. I don't know. I don't know that we punted as well last week as we have, but all in all, we're getting better there. I think we're covering better in our lanes and so forth. So we got to continue to do that and improve. And like I said, today, tomorrow, and Thursday will be fundamental days for us and really focusing on trying to improve. All right, take questions.
Coach, you mentioned taking this week, improving, getting ready for the game on Wednesday. How does the rivalry aspect play into that? Do you approach that this week and talk about it, or is it something you're more focused on your team and just getting them ready for Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, I think our players obviously are very aware. It's something that we've talked about for sure already. But at the end of the day, when we get on the practice field, we have to focus on the things we think we need to improve, no matter who we're playing. But there'll be a sense of excitement in practice. I think there'll be a lot of energy, which we've had good energy, especially last week. I thought last week we had an excellent week of practice. And that's what kind of was bothering about the way we played offensively. But I really think our guys will be motivated. They're excited to obviously play in a rivalry game like this. I know we got some guys looking forward to get back on the practice field, so they're excited about that. And I don't think there'll be any need to try to motivate them. I think the motivation will be there.
You mentioned Caleb's injury.
Uh-huh.
what is it and when did it happen, and what can you tell us
I'd
about
probably
that?
rather not comment on what type of injury, unless it's season ending. But he's banged up, so we got to make sure that he's ready to, that he's healthy and ready to go and available. And I'd say right now he's probably questionable.
This rivalry has been a weird one over the last few years. I think the away team has won the last 4 matchups, I believe. ESPN2 game.
Yeah.
Troy has a history with big-time games and maybe not the outcome they want. Is that something on the back of the team's mind? How do you approach that this week?
I don't think we approach it any different. That's a good point, but I think those are things for maybe the media and fans and so forth. I think each year's different, and our team's really focused on what we have this week and what our task is, and we know we're going to get a great effort from South, and if we're not ready, it's not going to be a good night for us. So we have to make sure we're ready and prepared, and kind of let all that other stuff handle itself.
It's a Wednesday night game. What kind of I won't say issues, but what kind of changes do you have to do to get everybody from yourself to the players to everything ready for an odd day like that?
Well, the good thing for in this profession is you just count backwards and you start that preparation, so it's the same routine for your players day in, day out. So Saturday's like a Tuesday to us, Sunday's like a Wednesday, and so forth. And I think once you get yourself in that rhythm, it's not a whole lot different. Obviously, there's an element of, hey, class the next day and the day before and so forth, but at the same time, we also know this is a great opportunity to showcase our university and our program, and something I know our players look forward to. One of the reasons they come to Troy is to get the opportunity to play in these games, and so I don't think there'll be any issue. We do get a couple extra days, but so do they, and at the end of the day, I don't know if any of those are factors at all, really.
It may sound like a dumb question, but what's the importance of this games in terms of, you look at where you're at right now in the season, 2-3, the importance of getting a win on Wednesday?
Well, I think it's extremely important. And first of all, it's a conference game, obviously, and we're 0-1 in the conference, so we don't need to get behind the 8 ball where we dig ourselves in a hole that maybe we can't get out of. So the good thing about us is we still control our own destiny. All we can focus on is our team, and each week preparing, giving ourselves the best chance to win, and everything that we're all our goals are still out there. We just have to play well and continue to improve each week, and if we do that, give ourselves the opportunity to win the game.